Hello everyone, my name is Alejandra Landano and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel you find lots of different videos, more specifically about teaching and working online from home. In today's video, you're going to get some tips and suggestions when using Zoom as an Outschool teacher. These are just a few tools and tips I think are very important for you to become familiar with when you're first starting with Outschool. Now, just a little bit of background information about myself if you're new to this channel. I have been an Outschool teacher for the last 3 months. Before that, I was full-time with VIP Kid, and then before that, I was full-time kindergarten classroom teacher. So I have been a teacher for about 6 or so years, and I honestly love it. I think working online especially is very rewarding and exciting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what VIP Kid or Outschool is, I definitely recommend you check some of my other videos on my YouTube channel. If you're not new here and you're coming back, thank you for coming back. But as I mentioned in today's video, I just want to show you some important tools that you should know as an Outschool teacher, especially if you're new to Zoom and the online platform. So let's get started. I'm actually going to put you on my computer. I have just logged into Zoom. Remember, you can create your own free Zoom account to practice on. Once you create your account, there'll be a little box right here that has settings. I like to go into these settings right away and click video. If we look at the video section, give my computer a second to load. Some of the things I clicked on here, this is probably the most important one that drove me insane literally for 3 weeks as a teacher. Always display participants' names on their videos. So the problem I was having was that when I shared my screen on Outschool, some of the names would just totally disappear. So I had to write the students' names down or try to remember it in my head because their name on Zoom was not appearing. And that was because this little box was not checked. So go in and check that box right away so you do not have to memorize students' names and you can just see their names on the screen at all times. Now, just to practice, I'm going to hit new meeting. And now I'm in a meeting. I am always going to hit join with computer audio. Now, when I first log into the classroom on Outschool, it looks something like this. Sorry, my lighting is horrendous right now. It is what it is. But I always go to mute right away and stop video. And that is because right when you enter the Outschool classroom, they start recording. So if you're prepping for class, if you're looking at your phone, if you're checking your emails, they're recording all of it. Another thing I always click right away is opening up the participants. So I have participants here on the side, and this is where your students will appear. It will automatically be put in a waiting room, and you'll have to allow them into the classroom. I allow my students in the classroom right when class time starts. So if I have a class at 3 o'clock and they're here at 2:55, they're waiting until 3 o'clock, and then I admit all of my students at the same time. But you will find them over here. Over here is where you also have the option to rename yourself or other students. Now, there are a few things down here that I like. If we go to more, these are the ones I like to have checked. I like to have checked allow participants to unmute themselves, and I only leave that checked if I'm comfortable allowing students to unmute themselves. So if I'm having, I've never had, but if I have a disruptive crew, meaning like there's 2 or 3 students that are not following directions, they're not being good listeners, they're not following my rules, and they keep playing with the unmute, mute, whatever, I would probably unclick that check. So that means only I could unmute themselves, they could not. I always have this one checked. Play sound when someone joins or leaves. And that's really important on Outschool because when you log into Outschool, when you go through Zoom, through the platform, when a student comes, you hear like a little chime or a bell, and that's where you get that sound from. That just lets you know that there's a student there waiting. Allow participants to rename themselves. This is up to you if you want it checked or not. Okay, I'm not really sure why this part got cut off, But I really quickly also wanted to share how I share different things on my screen. You will have a button at the bottom and you'll click share screen, and then you'll just open it up and hit share. Now, if I don't want my students to see like those gray things that were on the side, I would go to share screen, go to advanced, and you'll hit portion of screen. And then whatever is in this green box is what the students will see. Now, there are a few things up here that I think are important as well. If we go to more, I always hit disable attendee annotation unless I want students writing on my screen. So I always click that, and that just means that students cannot draw all over your screen. I have had that happen before. It was like a 5-year-old and she would not stop scribbling all over the screen. Fortunately, I knew how to do it, but it was still very stressful for me to remember, figure it out, and I had a full class that day. So I now always do that before class, because especially with classes that I have a ton of new students, I don't know how my students will be, so I just have it off. And if you need to turn it back on, it's very easy to do. Now I'm going to stop sharing. Let's say I actually want to share a video. So if I want to share a video, there's a few things I have to do. Share screen, basic, and let's say I'm going to do a YouTube video, so I'm going to click that. You need to click share computer sound and optimize screen share for video, click, and then click share. If you don't click those two buttons, the video is going to be glitchy, delayed. It just doesn't play well. You might not hear the sound. So make sure those two boxes are checked if you plan on sharing a video. Okay, I'm going to join my own meeting. For me, side note, the only reason you would really join your own meeting is if you want to use another device as a doc cam. I'll show you in a second how you invite another device into your Zoom meeting, but once you are in, there are a few things you want to keep in mind. If you look on the screen, it says call using internet audio. I'm going to hit cancel. And the reason being is when you invite yourself to a Zoom session, so you have two devices in the Zoom class, you don't want sound on one of them. There'll be a lot of feedback. It will hurt your ears. So one of them will be connected to sound, which is this one. The other one will not be connected. Now, there are a few ways you can invite yourself to a meeting on Outschool so you can bring in another device. Let's say that you want to use your iPad as a document camera. How do you get into the classroom? You can go to meetings, invite, and again, hit the copy invitation link or the copy invite link, and then email it to yourself. And then through your email, you'll get a link and you simply click it and you enter the classroom. So that's basically it. Let's say, for example, I'm going to hold this. Let's say I want to spotlight all of my fun toys over here. So I don't want the students seeing my screen. I want the students to focus on those toys. I would hit spotlight video. This one's pin video because again, it's just me and me, but it will give you the option to spotlight the video. That means even when I'm talking, that is the focus. Everyone is seeing that video. So everyone is seeing this video here. I hope you found these tips and tricks helpful or beneficial using Zoom. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate. My email is always down below. I love helping other teachers. Even if you're not my referral, I am here as a resource. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!